Hi, thanks for joining. Welcome to CP Physics with Miss Mazzeo. That's me. So just a little bit about me. This is my 8th year teaching. This is my 4th year here at HHS. I received my undergraduate degree in physics from Clark University. I have my master's in teaching from Drew University, and I have my master's in administration from Montclair State University. I am also a certified yoga instructor. That's kind of what I do in my free time that I have. And I am a mom to 2 fur babies, a Brussels Griffon and a Bull Mastiff, and a feather baby. She's a 20-year-old Goffin cockatoo. So what will the year look like? So the good news, the really good news, is that most of the students have seen all of this material, and not necessarily in the classroom. They've seen it in their everyday lives. Physics is truly the science of the everyday. So this is the general outline of what the year will look like. I'm going to go through it in a little bit more detail just so you have a better idea of what kind of things the students will see as they move through the year. So intro to motion, that's a lot of graphical analysis, a lot of looking at things in motion and evaluating the information that we can glean from whatever's happening. So we use graphs, we use equations, all those kinds of things. Forces and interactions is our second unit, and this is usually the one that everybody remembers about physics, is Newton's laws, the governing of classical mechanics. Unit 3 is energy, so we look at conservation of energy, changes in energy, and we really start to look at what it means for something to be in a system and what it means for that system to conserve certain things about itself and how things will transform from one thing to another. Then we move into momentum, and this is again looking at conservation, so how all of the things are conserved inside of a system. A lot of times we look at when things collide, how they will still in total have the same amount of momentum that they started with. And this is more into the second half of the year. We'll kind of start after winter break with electrostatics and electricity. Electrostatics, you've probably done it if you've walked across the carpet rubbing your socks and then went to touch somebody and you shocked them. That's electrostatics. And electricity is our circuits, how our modern day world works, and we'll get to look into some detail with that. Magnetism is probably the only unit that students have not experienced the way that they've experienced the others. It's a little bit more abstract than most of the other things that we get to do throughout the year, but magnetism is definitely one of my favorites. It is really how our modern world functions, and it's also related to how our world functions. So the North and the South poles is a result of the Earth's magnetism and keeps us safe from the sun's rays, and we'll get to talk about that kind of stuff. Then we'll move into waves and electromagnetic radiation, and we talk a lot about how energy can travel. So this will lead us into our modern technology and how we're able to communicate with our phones, through our laptops, all of that good stuff. And hopefully, timing permitted and things get a little bit more back to normal by the end of the year, we'll do a little bit of astronomy, which looks like rocket building and looking at and evaluating different pieces. So it's our little bit of engineering at the end of the year. I got to do it a little bit last year, but it definitely wasn't the same. So fingers crossed, by the time June rolls around, we're all able to at least be outside as a class shooting off rockets. So in addition to the content, so that's our content area, the focus of the year is really to learn some skills that they can take on into college or whatever they decide to do after high school graduation. And it's about really engaging with the world like a scientist. So just as our scientists did not know everything when they started, they had to figure it out themselves. That is how information will often be presented. They'll be given data, they will have to use tools like graphs and equations to evaluate the data and to determine how it works. So they are really looking at content, process, connections, things that they can take with them beyond just the content of physics. And they will have opportunities for this virtually. So the lab setting will be a little bit different than it has in the past. especially this first month. But students will still be given simulations and videos that will allow them to engage in the labs that we would normally do in the classroom setting. And so that brings me to really our meeting point for myself and the students. It's Google Classroom. They've all received an invite. I know some of you have already been invited as guardians. If that's still something you're interested in, you can always shoot me an email. If you'd like to be added as a student just to see what your child is getting, that is also an option. I can always email you the code. Google Classroom is the place, it's our central starting point. It has the codes for our Google Meets. It has all of our documentation, notes, assignments, activities, anything like that will be held in Google Classroom. And so the way that I'm organizing this year is through a tool called a unit menu. And your students will be receiving this the first one every week, so they'll get one a week. This is an example of one. They received this on Monday of our second full week together. And it is an overview and the expectations of what assignments they need to complete, and for some cases when. So if you kind of look at this document, at the very top we name the unit, week 2. The learning objectives indicate what is expected of them to know by the end of the week. And then in our first column, just information on where they might find the assignment, when it will take place. Some of these will be done on their own time, some will be done with me. Most, if not all, are planned for our scheduled meeting times. And then you'll see in the middle column is the assignment itself. It's hyperlinked so the students can click directly on the document and it brings them to whatever it is that we're doing. And then you'll see in the right-hand column the blank space, and I've explained this to the students if they want to make a copy of the document and leave notes. If they have a printer and they'd like to print the document, it's really for them so they could just write in that space. But you'll see here in this particular second row, third column, Genesis grade. That indicates that yes, I'm putting it in Genesis, and yes, it's counting towards your overall grade for the marking period. The things that are due, I will still be looking at, still be grading, but it does not count as an assignment towards their overall point values. And then you might have also noticed that I have some things that are indicated as optional. This is really for them if they feel they need more practice, or on the opposite end of that, if they are feeling like experts at the topic and they want to dive deeper, they want more information, that is available to them. So, what the students were told. So, on Google Classroom is posted the classroom expectations and things like that. I just kind of broke it down in this format for you guys. So the big thing I'm really stressing is even when we're virtual, to put the phones to the side, try not to have them in our faces. Work hard. Physics is not always easy. It's a little math heavy, but it can happen for every student. Every student can do well in physics because you really just have to find the part that works for you, whether it's the math, it's the experiments, or the analysis. Usually everybody kind of finds their niche. Always listen, be prepared, hand in assignments on time. I ask if the students are going to be late for any reason on assignments or whatever it may be, that they just reach out to me. Again, absences, anything that they miss is on their unit menu and through Google Classroom. So they should have no reason why they're not keeping us up to date as possible, even if it's an absence or two. Some students have asked what kind of supplies. I really leave this up to them, but usually things like a calculator is really good to have, paper, notebook. You might want like a few pieces of graph paper, but we really won't need that after probably November. So really a personal choice there. And then the grading, every assignment is worth a certain amount of points, and their grade for the marking period is based on their total earned over the total available. And then for all assignments, although I will encourage them to work with their peers, it is expected that they're doing the work individually and not using any outside resource that hasn't been sanctioned by me. So thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you want access to the Google Classroom, just shoot me an email. If you have any other questions at all, please do not hesitate to reach out. Fingers crossed that one day soon we'll get to meet each other in person. Have a wonderful school year, and thank you.